What is it like when Joe Rogan's got the mic at you and you've got your hand raised?
You know, that's a crazy, crazy feeling. You know, the goosebumps that you get from it. You know, I've not been fortunate enough to fight in a pay-per-view where Joe Rogan has obviously gave me a post-fight interview. I've had Michael Bisping 2 times or 3 times now. You know, that's a good feeling as well. UK champion. You know, such an incredible experience. And you know what? This may sound a bit morbid, and I don't want it to be morbid. You know, my family will watch this, and you know, if I was to die tomorrow, I would be really happy with what I've achieved so far.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here with the problem, Chris Duncan, 14-2, 3-fight win streak in the UFC, absolutely smashing it. Last fight was a war against Rebecca. Got bonus for that one. Great to have you here in Kuala Lumpur. How good does it feel to be able to come out here on the back of 3-fight winning streak at the highest level?
It's crazy. I was saying this to Robert when we were in the elevator there, you know, like, I can't believe this fighting's taking me to where it's taking me. I've been Mexico City, Kuala Lumpur, you know, all these amazing places, and you know, sometimes I need to pinch myself and realise this is amazing, you know.
Was there a moment when you were a kid where you thought, I need to do something special with my life, or you had a dream?
Do you know what? This might sound a bit crazy, but I've read about this feeling from different places. Like I've always felt a little bit special. I've always felt something, a desire or some sort of push within me, and I've read about that. That's a desire that people have, and a lot of people that are successful on their own right have that. That's something that I felt very early on. I remember feeling that when I was playing rugby. I thought rugby was going to be what I was going to do, and then here I am in the UFC.
That last fight, talk to me about it. What did it feel like to be in there? Because then, if you haven't seen it, go and watch at least the highlights. If you've seen photos, just 2 warriors left bloodied, bruised. You left it all in there, and you got your hand raised at the end of it. Talk to us about that.
The highlights of that was like 12 minutes long. It was a 15-minute fight, so it just it speaks volumes. You know, those types of fights. Peely said it to us when we were coming. I've been with my whole career for a fight like that, and it just takes your dance partner to be able to do that. And you know, it just like really translates across to the type of person I am. And you know, you don't want to be in too many of them, but what we're said as well, not many people can be in fights like that. You know, not many people can handle that pressure, and you know, that's what I'm built for.
I read a quote from you. I think it was the UFC website. I think it was about this fight where you said, you know, what I've been through in my life, this is nothing to me. Does that resonate with you? Do you have to be made of something different to a regular person to be able to endure that kind of thing?
No, I don't think so. You know, like obviously, I was explaining that your mental, say your mental health. I hate saying mental health because a lot of the media and all that talks about it right now, but maybe like your mental capacity is 90% of what you are, and you know, all these cuts that I received from the fight was superficial. They heal on their own. You know, sometimes people don't heal on their own, and you know, they end up going down this horrible battle with mental health. You know, and that's what I was trying to get across. You know.
Now, do you feel wise at this stage of your career? You've been through a lot, and you've won, you've lost.
Just, I'm always learning. You know, day to day. Sometimes, like even being in the room with businessmen, and you know, you'll learn a little bit. You know, I think if you put your flagpole in any one area at any given time and say that's what it's supposed to be, you're in the wrong game. You know, this is such an evolving sport that if you say you're finished learning and you're, you know, not new to the game, I think that's when you're stuck. Sorry for the language.
There's kids in Scotland right now must be very excited about you. What's it like to have Scotland behind you?
Oh, incredible. You know, it's quite hard to comprehend because just like I'd met my 2 friends on Saturday, went for a few drinks, not seen them in 2 years, and they're like, "Oh, you're famous now," and like I'm not famous. I'm just myself, and we went at the Wetherspoons, and there was like a queue of people want photos, and you know, they were like a bit shocked, and I was a wee bit shocked as well because I don't play very often. So, you know, having Scotland behind me, I'm a very patriotic person. You know, I'm very flag driven, you know, I've got my Scottish flag and Scotland, and I come out to the bagpipes, and I'm very strongly believing on that. William Wallace, I wear the face paint, you know. If you're not fighting for your country, who are you fighting for, you know?
And for you right now, when you see Topuria, how good is he and how far off are you from that level?
You know, seeing Topuria, you know, taking over and putting away the people that he's putting away is fantastic. From a championship belt, you know, I'm years away from that. And not to say that I can't be there. I never even thought I would make it to the UFC, and you know, I'm now 5-1 in the UFC, so you know, dreams can be put into reality if you just make sure you're doing, I call it feeding the cat. And people are like, what, feed the cat? It's something you've got to do every single day. You get up and feed the cat. You get up and do it. There's no ifs, there's no buts. And that's what I'll be doing every single day. I'll be training. You know, if I work my life off, drop my whole career, being in like training, you know, that means I'm on my way. And if I don't get it, I try my body hardest.
Is there anything on your list of things that you would love to get done in this career? Is there any legends that you'd like to fight just out of respect for them, that kind of thing?
I always wanted to fight Donald Cerrone because he was like my idol. He's my favourite fighter. They always say you shouldn't meet your idols, but they never say you shouldn't fight them. You know, one thing I do like with fighting, you know, you get to travel the world. I love to fight in Asia, mainly Japan. Japan is like a country that I'm really fascinated. I've never been there. I eat the food a lot, but it's just I don't know why Japan just really like brings me here. Like I could see myself in Japan, so I really want to fight there.
That's unbelievable. Donald, yeah, he's coming back, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, he says he is. Dana doesn't want him to come back, but
yeah,
he's pretty on it.
Maybe he comes back. Maybe he fights me, but I don't. Kind of secretly deep down, they don't want to fight him. You know, he's an idol of mine. You know, I've kind of not surpassed him, but like I've surpassed the feeling that I want to fight him because he's such a incredible person. It's not just the fighting style. Like I'm always a big believer. Like not many of the champions are people's favourite fighters, whereas Donald Cerrone was. I don't think he ever fought for a belt, but he was certainly my favourite fighter. You know, a lot of the favourite fighters are maybe fan favourites for him. Maybe don't like Justin Gaethje. You know, he's fought for the belt once, but you know he's a real fan favourite.
Tell me about American Top Team. Cool to see a couple of Scottish lads doing it out in Florida at one of the most renowned MMA gyms in the world. Robert was saying Dustin Poirier is the gold standard in terms of in and out of the cage, everything. You know, who are the big characters there? What they like to train with?
So I've trained with them all. I've trained with Dustin. I've trained with Jorge Masvidal. And the big thing for me when I went in there, you know, I just couldn't believe how normal they were. Just like speaking to you today and speaking to other people on the street, you know, they're just good guys and offering me advice. And, hey, mate, could you come help me with this? And when I'd ask them a question, you know, you see them on TV and you put a massive, you know, stamp on them, say, oh, these superstars, but they're just general day-to-day people. And I always remember Dustin, you know, Joe Rogan came up to him on the microphone and says, Dustin, you are the man. And then he goes, no, Joe, I'm just a man.
Yeah,
and, you know, that translates very well to me, you know, like, you're just a man. Like, why can't you be that type of person? And I've trained with Dustin, you know, such a good guy and, you know, learned so much from him. You know, it's great, a great feeling.
What is it like when Joe Rogan's got the mic at you and you've got your hand raised in the UFC, crowds roaring, friends and family? Can you describe that feeling?
I better feel Bruce Buffer announcing your name. You know, that's a crazy feeling. You know, the goosebumps that you get from it. You know, I've not been fortunate enough to fight in a pay-per-view where Joe Rogan has obviously gave me a post-fight interview. I've had Michael Bisping 2 times or 3 times now. You know, that's a good feeling as well. UK champion. You know, such an incredible experience. And, you know what? This may sound a bit morbid, and I don't want it to be morbid. My family will watch this, and you know, if I was to die tomorrow, I would be really happy with what I've achieved so far. I've done everything I possibly can to put myself in even just this seat right here. You know, like I would be happy, you know, or if, for instance, somebody pulled the plug on my career and that was the end of it, I'd be super happy what I've done, you know, and that's a really proud thing to have achieved. You know.
That's beautiful. I completely agree. It's actually a great thing for your friends and family to hear you say, because when we all go, because everybody's going to go, it's a fact of life, right? It's nice for your loved ones to know that actually I feel like I gave it everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're absolutely smashing it. You're at the top of the game. You've got to enjoy these moments. Are you able to enjoy the moments more and not just always think about the next fight and the next goal?
Well, you know, no, that's a funny question you ask at this time because, you know, I'd left to come here to Malaysia and me and my girlfriend were talking about family life. And, you know, Robert has said as well, you know, on that podcast we just done previously that, you know, females, obviously, we were saying about females and they're just wanting a wee bit of attention here, there and everywhere. I feel like I'm maybe neglecting that part of my life. So I've said to my girlfriend, you know, I'm going to give up a little bit of, because I'm trying to grab everything I can right now because I'm at the very, very start. I'm like, give me it, mainly like opportunities. So me and my girlfriend had to sit down and we had a chat about it and I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of business to give a little bit back to my family. And I think you know what, and everybody I speak to would say that's the right decision. So I'm just going to do that. And, you know, I think that'll help my career because it'll maybe take my eyes off of the money coming in, whether it be through PTs or going to do podcasts. So I think it'll be a good decision. And it will bring me and my fiance a lot closer to each other and my kids as well because Daddy has to leave for fights at 2 months at a time. So you know, it's important to give back to them and go to Disneyland or whatever.
Yeah, man, 100%. What is the vibe like towards boxing among the MMA community? Because it just feels like there is a moment happening, whether it's traditional boxing, celebrity boxing, super fights, that there's money to be made and it's prize fighting at the end of the day. You're a great striker. Is that something maybe for later? Is that something you're getting offers on? Is it something that people chat about kind of in the locker room? Like, oh, I might be able to fight this YouTuber.
Yeah, I know. That's all money at the end of the day. You know, these boxers, you know, I always use this analogy, for instance, you know, like, there's all the money in the pile after the fight. All the boxing promoters hand out every bit of money and everybody gets their piece. And then they start from scratch. Obviously, they're going to have some liquid to help move on to the next show. But everybody's going to need to put their money back in. Whereas the UFC is a big corporate business. And they have the UFC PI, they have everything. And they distribute some wages, but not all of them. And then at the end, that means there's still money in the pot to be able to provide UFC PI, you know, meals, supplements. You know, that's why the UFC is such a big outfit. And boxing, I don't know, man. My character and kind of like what I've built my career off is Chris Duncan, the UFC fighter, and I just want to keep it that way. You know, if I have to fight boxing or below the well, I would enjoy it, but I'm still a UFC fighter at heart, you know.
Pretty cool thing to be. To wrap up then, what's the best piece of life advice that you've gotten that you would share with someone watching this who might have a dream or just might be trying to get up in the morning and go about their business?
Yeah, I said this in the meeting we had with Chris today, that people put out on social media, and TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, there's only a few things that you need to be disciplined in. Consistency, work ethic, being on, like, all these things that people rhyme off all the time. It's so cliche, but it's so right. And I was never talented, and I'm still not talented. You know, I have good attributes that obviously translate over to MMA. But turning up every single day, see when you feel like shit, you don't want to turn up, that's when, like, champions are made. Because if you're lying on your back tired and you're working on your defense, you know, that may get you out of a bit of a pickle in the fight. And like, there's no magic potion. You need to turn up, you need to be aggressive, and you need to put people away. It's an entertainment support. So that's about that.
Yeah, that encapsulates it all brilliantly. I just want to get a prediction for Ilya versus Jack Della. That's going to be a big one. It's going to be
Islam.
Sorry, Islam versus Jack Della. Yeah,
I'm going to go for Jack Della. I feel his anti-wrestling and size will take take into a big factor about how the fight will go. And I'm bad. I'm not a good betting man. I'm not good at betting on fights, so I go with people who I like and I like their style, and I like Jack Madalena's style, so I'm going to go with him.
Who's Islam fighting next?
Islam's fighting Elia.
Yeah,
Islam Makhachev
Jack Deli, yeah.
and Elia's not got a fight.
Yeah, he's not got a fight.
Because Islam
Waiting for it.
have moved up, so he just fought Charles, so it'll be the next night. I reckon it'll be just like Yates or something.
That'd be a banger.
It'll be a banger for me too, but
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
How would that go?
with me and Elia,
Yeah.
well, I don't know just yet, but I think his skill set, his height, and you seen what Jai Herbert done with him, he nearly knocked him out. I think I could use my height and my kicking game to keep it. That's where he's the most dangerous in that boxing unit. So I would certainly use my kicking range and my full skill set to try, head kick him out there.
But we got to see it one day.
So that
Pleasure.
I'm working hard to get it.
Can see it. It shows. Man, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.